Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students, and welcome to the lecture on report writing skills. Dear students, we have in detail studied the different formats in the different lectures on report writing skills of reports, of letters, of memoranda, and we had just started in the last few lectures with our good news and bad news messages. Means in any format, what is the thing, what is the text, what type of text should you be using in order to fill in the different formats that you have studied and learned. Dear students, in the last lectures we have in detail discussed the bad news messages, the plan, the indirect plan for the bad news messages, and then the different sample bad news messages, and we analyzed them in detail, that were they following the recommended indirect plan for their organization or not. Today, dear students, in detail we will be analyzing different sample good news or neutral messages. So let us quickly and directly start with a sample good news letter. Kindly have a look on the screen in front of you, and we will be analyzing it in detail. That is it following the recommended direct plan? Is it simplified? Is it clear? And is it having all the qualities that a good news message should be having in it? Kindly have a look on the screen. Dear students, it begins again with the letterhead. Vegetarian Catering Services, 1102 Carrot Street, HI 96817808553008 to this heading. After that, dear students, is the date December 120XX, and then the inside address Miss Wilma Gorman, 3392 Bedrock Drive, Aya, HI 96701. And in the simplified letter format, you direct find in bold over here, without the heading subject, the catering confirmation, and without as the simplified letter format adopts without the beginning salutation and courtesy title, it starts directly. Thank you for considering vegetarian catering services for your party needs. As you requested, here are the menu items and approximate costs for a party of 25. And now the good news is directly starting with yes, that we are there for you, and then it is having the you attitude with it, as well as it is directly starting the sentence with thank you, not with we, not with I. After that, dear students, in the bulleted form we find the menu items and then the approximate costs. Kindly have a look on the screen. Dinner menu includes vegetarian lasagna with French bread, fresh toast, green salad, stuffed tofu in sauce, then cheese filled, and fried ice cream for dessert. Then setup will commence 30 minutes before the start of your engagement, and all dining plates and utensils are included. Food warmers will be at your location and will be picked up the following day. Total cost of the service of 25 people including tax is $330 to be paid in full upon delivery. If you have any questions about the menu items, or if we can help you in any other way, please call me at 2259936. Beverly Wetson, Production Manager. Now this was an example of a good news message in front of you, and let us analyze it, dear students. It began with a very good positive gesture of you attitude, and then it is directly saying yes to the customer as you requested. Here is the menu and the menu items and approximate costs for a party of 25, and the detailed items over there, and after that the detail of the costs and the schedules Then you can see one more thing, dear students. In order to make the reading easier for the reader, it has divided the entire schedule or entire detail in bullets. So in a single glance, the reader can extract the information that he or she would like to extract instantly in the minimum possible time, here in front of you on the screen. And then, dear students, there is the ending, where the ending note is that they are welcoming the reader for any queries if they are having, and the contact number is also given over there. Now moving back to the plan or direct plan of good news messages, let us see what is the plan for a good news. Here, direct plan: request or good news directly. Yes, good news was directly given in the very beginning, and then the main ideas in the bulleted forms. Yes, the same scheme was followed in that example. Polite closure, encouraging questions, and yes, it was a very polite closure in this letter, and it was encouraging questions. Here, if you have any questions about the menu items, or if we can help you in any other way, please call me at 225-9936. 225-9936. Have a look again, dear students. Example of a good news message in front of you. Now let's move to another example of a good news message, dear students. Have a look here. Dear students, it begins again with the letterhead, and this is Feline Friends Daycare Center, 22 Catwalk Lane, HI 96815808550978. This is the letterhead, showing the as a heading, showing the address of the organization from which the letter is being sent to the receiver. Then December 120XX, Miss Susan, day 34886, Aya Heights Drive, Aya, HI 96701. Dear Miss Day. Now it is starting with the salutation and courtesy title, Miss Day. Well, congratulations, Miss Day. You have been selected to join our team at Feline Friends Daycare Center as activity manager. Your prior work experience at Humane Society and education background will be a welcome asset to our team. Now, dear students, this is a good news. The person, Miss Day, this lady had applied, I think, for a post of the activity manager in this organization, and that request is accepted, and she is given the designation and the job. So this is an acceptance letter, a good news letter, a good news message, and it is directly beginning with the good news and the word congratulations. A direct plan being used, the good news directly being opened up. The word, a very positive word, congratulations, to start with, a very good note, a very good gesture for a good news message. Miss Day, you have been selected to join our team at Feline Friends Day Care Center as activity manager. Your prior work experience at a Humane Society and educational background will be a welcome asset to our team. A very warm beginning, a very warm note. Please stop by our office before December 20XX to fill out all personal employment forms and pick up your employee handbook. Also, the following is the list of the items you will need to bring with you. Now, dear students, again, you can see that in the second paragraph as well, it is the reader's benefit again. It is the newly hired employees' benefit again that is being focused. That do stop by our office before December 20 to fill out all the personal employment form and pick up your employee handbook. So by doing this, this is the benefit that the employee herself will be getting. So this good news message is focusing again on the benefit of the reader. And also the following is the list of the items you need to bring with you. Again, this is something that the reader needs. So focusing and on the benefit of the reader and manipulating or changing the organization of the message by giving it a slightly more focused bent towards the need or the benefit or the goodwill of the reader. The message is coming up with the details of the items that the newly hired employee will require: BLS card, RMA certification, current TB clearance. Then it is again, you can see on the screen, dear students, it is again being presented in the bulleted form, so that making it easier to read by the reader, by the receiver, so that the important information that the reader wants to get out of the letter can get it quickly without putting much effort on the reading process. We will set up a date for a new employee orientation and can answer any questions you may have about our company or policies. Again, welcome aboard. Again, welcome aboard to Feline Friends Daycare Center. Please call me at 808-550-9782 if you have any questions or if I may help you in any way. Sincerely, Diane Forwell, Program Director. Again, dear students, very warm closure and welcoming the questions, and again the courtesy words like please being used, and again 2 times, this is twice, that we can answer any questions you may have about our company or policies. And then again, please call me at this number if you have any questions. So twice the request is being repeated with the courtesy word please, and the contact number is also being given. So this is a very courteous and a warm and a polite closure of the good news message. Again, a very professionally written example of a good news message in the modified block letter format in front of you. Have a look. Okay, dear students, now let us move to another example. Good news or oblique neutral sample 4 message. Bank of Hawaii. This is the letterhead 300 for the heading address. 300 ALA Moana BLVD suit 321 HI 96814 block letter format. November 29 20XX Eric Yamamoto 2142 First Street HI 96774. Dear Mr. Yamamoto, congratulations. You have just been approved for a new Visa Platinum credit card with a credit limit up to $25,000. Dear students, again good news, directly beginning with the good news without any longer introduction in the beginning of a good news message. You straight away start with the positive note of opening up the good news with a warm word towards the reader, and that over here you can see yes, the word congratulations, and you have again beginning with the word you, that means focusing on the reader. You have just approved of you have just been approved of a new Visa Platinum credit card with the credit limit up to $25,000. You will be able to exercise and enjoy all the benefits of being a Visa Platinum member. Your credit card and credit limit will arrive shortly after you receive this letter. Now, again, the good news is continuing in the second paragraph as well. You will be able to exercise and enjoy all the benefits being offered by Visa Platinum for being the member of the Visa Platinum member, and the other facilities will be received soon as well, and this is a good news within a good news. For your convenience this holiday season, enjoy an introductory interest rate of 0% until June 20XX. If you have any. Now, dear students, third news, which is again a good news. So it is an amalgam of good news. Good news in the first paragraph, another good news in the second paragraph, and yet another third good news in the third paragraph, that you will be enjoying the facility with 0% interest rate in the holidays. Then again, a very warm closure. If you have any questions, then the courtesy word please call 917550018 as recommended in the Good News Direct Plan, that it should end up. Kindly have a look on the screen. It should end up with a polite closure, encouraging questions. So over here we find that yes, it is the encouraging the questions and giving the contact number as well, and the courtesy words like please is also being used. Thank you for your interest in visa and happy holidays. A very warm closure. Sincerely, Choice Fowler, Customer Service Director. Another example in front of you, dear students, no doubt a very good example of a good news message that you should be following while you are supposed to write any good news message in your professional life or in your student life. Let us move to another example, dear students. Here in front of you, Center for Studies, University of Hawaii at Manoa. Center of Studies 2645 Dole Street, RM 211, Hawaii 96822. Simplified letter format, April 24, 20XX. Mr. Kehi Hurley, 91. This is the inside address, 919087 HO Opili ST EWA Beach HI 96706. Inside address, dear students, in the simplified letter format, and this is a sample letter for good news or the new student message. Kindly have a look on the screen. Simplified letter format, you do not find any heading like subject, and directly there is the subject line all in capital letters. Admission to studies program Hawaii, I don't know how to pronounce this word, admission to ABC studies program. And your students, you do not find any salutations over here, any courtesy titles over here as per the recommendations for a simplified letter format. In the simplified letter format, you are not having, if you remember when we discussed different formats of the letters with each other, that in simplified letter format you do not have any beginning salutation or courtesy titles. Straight away, the name of the person to whom the letter is being sent is worked within the first sentence of the text of the letter. Congratulations, Mr. Hurley. You have been accepted to studies program at the University of Hawaii. We are excited to meet you and begin the process of enrollment. Now, dear students, straight away beginning with a very positive word again, very positive welcoming word, congratulations, and then Mr. Hurley, and you have been accepted. The good news is straight away being given without any detailed introduction or without giving any background of the entire interaction in the beginning. Straight away the direct plan is being used, and the letter is again beginning with the good news directly, and this is the recommendation as well. Okay, Hawaiian Studies is a growing program with professional professors that have studied and taught for many years about their subject. In the fall, a new course will be offered, tarot culture, and this may be a subject you are interested in studying. The Center of Hawaiian Studies working with the Department of Asian and Pacific Languages has recently expanded academic degrees to include the master's degree in Hawaiian language. Now, dear students, you can see that this good news letter, this good news message began with the good news, but after that this message is also giving something extra that might be desirable for the candidate who might like to continue or begin with some other subjects, some other topics, or some other you can say studies that are being offered in the same study center. So this message also is keeping an eye on having more students as well for that study group. Profession, ethics and the courtesy, all these things together in this single message. Please call me at 955-2345 by May 1st to set up an appointment to complete your enrollment packet and to select your courses for the upcoming summer session. Now, dear students, again, as is the recommendation for a direct plan or of a good news message, the recommendation is this, that you people should be ending it on a warm closure, along with the encouragement to put questions. Kindly have a look. Here, encouraging questions, polite enclosure, encouraging questions. So do we find the polite enclosure over here, and do we find the encouraging question style over here in this good news message? Yes, you do find it over here. Please call me at 955-2345 by May 1st to set up an appointment to complete your enrollment packet and to select your courses for the upcoming summer sessions. Have a look on the screen. Nohea, and a very difficult name, Nohea Kana Kanapi Advisor, Nohea Advisor. So, dear students, this is another example of a good news message in front of you in the simplified letter format. And you find, again, whether you follow the simplified letter format, or you follow the block letter format, or you follow the modified block letter format, or you follow the memorandum report format, or simply you follow the memorandum format, or you follow the formal report format. Dear students, whatever format you adopt, if it's good news, the direct plan will be followed. If it is a bad news, the indirect plan will be followed. And direct plan means that it's a good news and you can directly begin with the without any introduction, without giving any background, straight away with the good news itself. This is the recommendation for the direct plan in case of a good news message. And if it's by the way not a good news, and the situation is this, your relationship with your reader is so strong that if it's simply a recommendation and a conclusion in a report, then you can straight away in the direct plan start with the by mentioning the recommendations and the conclusions in the very beginning. Now we move on to the next example of a good news message, dear student, and this is the letterhead, and after that, November 28th, 20XX, Miss Paula Wyatt, President, Sun Software Corporation, 123 Hayes Street, Suite 366, Palo Alto, CA 90214. Letter of recommendation for, the name is Raylene Chang. It is a pleasure to provide you with the information about Raylene Chang, who is a possible candidate for the systems administrator position with your company. Now, dear students, I think this person Raylene Chang requested the letter of recommendation from Mr. Donald Little, Chief Operating Officer. And this is a good news message because they have accepted the request by Mr. Raylene Chang, and they have written the recommendation letter for Mr. Raylene Chang, directly addressing it to the President of Sun Software Corporation. This is an achievement. So it's a pleasure to provide you with the information about Raylene Chang, who is possible candidate for system administration position with your company. Raylene has been employed with Case Management Works since 2001. Her talents, skills and dedication have helped the company through the millennium without any complications. During the first 6 months of Raylene's employment, she developed and completed the company's policy and procedure manual. Now dear students, you can see a very concrete information being shared over here in the school's good news message. It is not generally being floated that she is good, she is excellent, and she is competent, and she is. Facts and figures are being given that this is the initiative that this particular candidate took during the job tenure, and this is the accomplishment that we can by name mention while she was doing the job over here with our company. This is what she accomplished, this is what she did, this is the initiative she took. Have a look on the screen. During the first 6 months of Raylene employment, she developed and completed the company's policy and procedure manual. This manual has helped the company maintain consistency and regulated company policies. Raylene's strong attributes are her organizational skills and attention to detail. Again, in a very concrete way, a breakup of the different individual qualities is being given over here, and it in itself shows that that means this is not a letter for the letter's sake. The words are really meant, they really mean whatever is being said in the letter. The writer of the letter knows what he is saying, since he is providing the facts and figures in order to, the evidence in order to prove his point, in order to support his point. These special qualities, explaining it in a very concrete way, these special qualities enabled the company to meet deadlines and helped to detect omissions in statistical reports. One by one, if I number the qualities given: developed and completed company's policy and procedure manual 1. So through this manual, what was the outcome? Consistency and regulated companies. This manual maintained consistency, and this manual regulated companies' policies. So indirectly, this is also the accomplishment by Miss Raylene. Then there's another quality: organizational skills and attention to detail 4. Then special qualities enabled the company to meet the deadlines 5. And detect omissions in statistical reports 6. So these qualities separately can be numbered on fingers individually as separate individual qualities and concrete qualities in the shapes of the facts and figures, as compared to the vague and general gush of the praises for someone. Raylene is constantly attending computer seminars and reading books to keep current with the new technology. 7. She has graciously accepted the responsibility of managing 2 different computer. She has graciously accepted the responsibility of managing 2 different computer operating systems: Windows NT, Small Business Server, and Linux Red Hat, and has successfully maintained it without problems or failure. 9. She has scheduled system maintenance around the company's hours of operation to ensure consistent workflow and minimize downtime. 11. Raylene is a good computer teacher and a patient and accommodating worker. 3 qualities in a single sentence: 1, 2, 3. So 14. Many of her co-workers have remarked how easy she is to work with. 15. Raylene has unquestionable loyalty and devotion. 16. She can be relied upon to deliver quality work in a timely fashion. Her positive professional disposition makes her a valuable and likable person. Raylene Chang will be a tremendous asset to your organization. A very powerful, very much convincing, and a very much concrete good news recommendation letter being written in a very professional way. And dear students, if somehow you have to write a letter of this sort for somebody, or if you have to ask someone to write the letter of recommendation for you, this is a very good example to be followed, in which the detailed description in with facts and figures not with vague and general statements, is being given that is quite convincing for the reader and can be relied upon if described in this way. Have a look again. Okay, dear students, now let us move to another good news message in front of you. This is veterinary science pet foods. Westford MA01581, November 12, 20XX, Miss Keisha Butler, We Care Animal Hospital, 4321 Hare Street, Westford MA01581. Dear Miss Butler, thank you for contacting Veterinary Science Pet Foods. As you requested, here is our price list for our prescription veterinary foods to We Care Animal Hospital. We may be the newest veterinary food line, but we have the finest veterinarians in the country on our staff to formulate our vast line of prescription veterinary foods. We have the stock shipping facilities and the professionalism to meet your special food needs. The following inventory list and prices are available to you to review. Okay, dear students, as you can see, it is again straight away starting with the good news that the request of giving the detail of the prescription of the veterinary foods is being accepted to be handed over to the organization. The name We Care Animal Hospital is the name of the organization which requested something to this veterinary science pet foods, and they're giving the details by accepting this request. So the following foods are available for your canine patients: intestinal calm, 5 pounds, 10 pounds and 20 pounds dry bags, 24 to 12 ounces cans. Then early stage kidney, 5 pounds, 10 pounds and 20 pounds dry bags, 24 to 12 ounces cans. Late stage kidney, 50 pounds, 10 pounds and 20 pounds dry bags, 24 to 12 ounces cans. Diabetes plus, 55 pounds and 10 pounds dry bags and 24 to 12 ounces cans. Liver Life, 5 pounds, 10 pounds dry bags, 24 to 12 ounces cans. The following foods are available for your feline patients: urinary tract moderate, 2 pounds, 6 pounds and 12 pounds dry bags and 24 to 88 ounces cans. And urinary tract heavy, 2 pounds, 6 and 12 pounds, etc. Then, dear students, over here, yes, there's another detail, page number 2. Stonework details and early stage kidney details, late stage kidney diabetes plus, then weight loss plus. Now, dear students, you can see that all the details are being given in bullets in order to again make the reading easier, understanding easier for the reader. This is a good news message beginning with the acceptance of the request, and after the acceptance of the request, the explanation is being given in a very good and a professional way. After that, you can see our pricing is known amongst the veterinary field to be the easiest to memorize. The price is the same for all the different types of food based on weight. An example is diabetes plus feline, 4 pounds costs the same as 4 pounds. Early stage kidney feline, then price cost over here in detail. Now, dear students, you can find that it is being given in the table form. Weight in front of it the price, then weight in front of it the price. Whatever item you are getting, if it is in this weight, then the price is this. Whatever item you are getting, if it is in this weight, the price is this. Whatever item you are getting, if it is 5 pounds, the price will be this. Now this table is very helpful for any reader. Like, I am the reader, I do not know anything, I am not a medical student, I do not know anything about the details being given over there of the patients and the diseases and the different recommended foods, but still I can very easily understand what is being said just because of the very smooth and easily grasping organization of this good news message. First they use the bulleted strategy, and after that they use the table style in order to facilitate the reader or the receiver for understanding whatever is being communicated to them in writing. Here then, dear students, after that your retail cost will vary. Most clinics mark up 25%. Please call me at 5083 66770 if you need any further assistance or have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you again soon. Sincerely, Christian Canau, Executive Sales Manager. Well, dear students, although it involved much statistics in it, figures, numbers in it, but even then a person like me having no link with this subject could very easily understand it, and same will be the might be the situation with you, just because of the very good organizational plan of a good news that was being followed by this message. So in case you also have to write or devise such messages, then the same strategy can be followed by you in a very simple, professional and easily understand in a manner that is easily understandable. Now, dear students, let us move to the next example of the good news message in front of you. After that, now the letter is written, dear students, in the modified block letter format. On one side you can find the date November 28, 20XX. Miss Betty Boone, 987 Pensacola Street, HI 96813. Dear Miss Boone, thank you for bringing to our attention that the women's restroom stalls in store number 34 are too narrow. Okay. As a result of your letter, the store manager has agreed to rectify the problem by widening the women's washroom stalls. After assessing the problem, the inspector decided to remove one of the stalls in order to widen the other stalls. Now, dear students, again this was a request by some person to the customer service department, and that was the request of, that was simply a complaint. Kindly have a look on the screen that the restroom stalls were too narrow, and the request was positively accepted and was being positively responded as the remedial measures are being announced in the beginning of this good news message. That means your request is accepted and we are going to solve this problem quickly, and this is the solution that we are recommending, and we are removing one of the stalls in order to widen the other stalls. Good news in the very beginning, and starting again with a thank you note of as recommended for a good news message style, and then coming up with the detail of the good news that is going to detailed explanation how that good news is going to be implemented. The remodeling of the restroom will begin at December 120 XX and is projected to be complete before the end of the year. Explanation is being given, facts are being quoted over here. So this is not good news for the sake of good news for purpose, good news for action. As a token of our appreciation, enclosed you will find 5 complimentary meal coupons to any of our Burger King restaurants. Please call our customer service at 808-555-6789 if you have any questions. A very good appreciation note, dear students. It was a complaint that was put to the put to the manager of the services department, and in response to that complaint there was no anger, there was no harsh behavior. It was an acceptance on their part and a quick remedial measure that they announced, and in addition they gave a token of appreciation as well in the form of 5 complimentary coupons that she can go and dine in any of the restaurants. Now this gesture is not only a gesture of goodwill, dear students, this is also a very good and helpful gesture if you want to promote your business. Such a customer would no doubt love to revisit again and again your restaurant, where the customer is being respected so much. Although the customer was complaining, but the complaint was picked up as justified. That means your honesty at any level will pay you back very positively, whether it is a complaint coming out from any quarter but a justified one, you're accepting it and replying it back in the form of a good news and then further going for an appreciation note. This is awesome. So if in your written communication you are having the same honesty, you are having the same dedication, you are having the same courtesy, same consideration, same professionalism, then success will be waiting just in the next step for you. Sincerely, Michael Boyer, President. Then over here we find another thing, typist notation, the writer and the typist initials, MB, TJ, enclosure. And we have already, and dear students, what is in the enclosure? 5 complimentary meal coupons. Dear students, the typist notations and the enclosures, we discussed these parts of the letters in detail in the letter lecture of ours in the report writing skills. So you by this time should know very clearly what do I mean by typist notations and what do I mean by the enclosures. Okay, dear students, here we end up with the analysis of the good news messages. Now, dear students, just to revise whatever we discussed quickly, just to give you a very quick revision of whatever we discussed in detail. Kindly have a look on the screen. Dear students, we began the lectures on the good news and bad news messages, especially focusing on the organization of a bad news message, and we started with the general guidelines for bad news messages. Kindly have a look on the screen that you should be considering your audience and putting yourself in the reader's place while you are planning a bad news message. And after that we discussed, dear students, how to convey the bad news effectively, and in that, dear students, we discussed that there are different strategies that you could be adopting. One is de-emphasizing the bad news, and there are different ways to de-emphasize the bad news. For example, you can minimize the space that is devoted to the bad news. After that, dear students, we discussed that you can embed the bad news in a compound sentence or in a conditional sentence, or you can make it the part of the middle paragraph or somewhere by the end of the middle paragraph. And then, dear students, you can focus on what you can do for the audience, what you will do for the audience, what you are doing for the audience, as compared to what you cannot, what you could not, what you will not be doing. After that, dear students, we discussed that you should not be apologizing in your bad news message. The only reason being your explanation and your logic should be so strong that apology is not required. Your apology weakens your explanation. After that, dear students, then you should not be hiding your explanation behind the company's policy. Since it is the company's policy, we cannot offer this thing to you. No, always come up with the logic and explanation, and that should be the back of your refusal. After that, dear students, we discussed when implying the bad news, be sure the audience understands the entire message. You are supposed to be honest. Being courteous, being tactful never means to lie, never means to deceive the customer, never means to put the customer's mind in limbo, that what this means, acceptance or rejection. It should be very much clear, in a polite way, yet clear. After that, dear students, we discussed If there are any alternatives that you can offer in the case of the bad news, do offer them. It's a very positive gesture. And then do not go for I attitude. Do not begin your sentences in the bad news with I and we. Always focus on you, that is you attitude, and the ending should be on the look forward close, that call me or email me. And this is the recommended style that we discussed for the bad news messages. And after that, dear students, we discussed in detail that your bad news should be having the following plan. Number one, it should be beginning with a buffer. Kindly have a look on the screen. And after that, explanation and analysis of the circumstances. After that, alternatives, and the positive and the friendly closure. Then we compared the direct and the indirect plan. Direct plan for the good news and indirect plan for the bad news messages. In the direct plan, you begin, kindly have a look on the screen, with a request or the good news, then main ideas, and the polite closure, encouraging questions. And in the case of the indirect plan, dear students, for the bad news, you begin with the buffer. After that, you go on with the bad news with reasons, alternatives if possible. And then the last thing is, dear students, polite closure that looks forward. Dear students, after that we moved on to the examples of the bad news messages. And the very first example that we discussed was over here. Kindly have a look on the screen in front of you, having these many flaws in it, beginning with directly with the bad news and beginning with we regret to inform you, us, we, will, I. So this was a very pathetic way of writing the bad news. Kindly have a look on the screen. And having many other errors and mistakes as well. Then, dear students, we looked at the improved version of this bad news message over here. This was the improved version. We discussed it and analyzed it in detail. After that, dear students, we discussed another bad news message written in a very good way, in the modified block letter format here in front of you, in which the alternatives were also being offered, and in such a tactful way that showed the reader benefit as well, in order to keep the customer from cancelling the order, and eye on the business as well. Then, dear students, this was another example in front of you that we discussed of a bad news message, but still handled in a very polite and a tactful way. Have a look on the screen, just to remind you. After that, dear students, we discussed another example here in front of you on the screen of a bad news message written in a very good way. Here, then, dear students, we moved on to the next message here in front of you, a bad news message written again in a very polite and a very good way. I think we did not discuss this example, dear students, and I think we can discuss it once again. Okay, it was not discussed earlier. Let us analyze this example of a bad news written in a very good way. Dear students, kindly have a look on the screen. This is Miss Iris Arakaki, Director, Hawaii Food Bank, 2345 Makupu Drive, Pearl City. And dear Mr. Arakai, thank you for your letter inviting me to participate in your worthy cause. As a nutritionist for Hawaii Health Organization, I agree with your concern for people in need of basic necessities. Okay, now again, this is a very warm note in the beginning. In October, the month of your campaign, I will be in New Genoa to help establish the health facility there for undernourished people in that area. I'm scheduled to leave in September and return in January. So as much as I would like to help, I will not be available. May I suggest a replacement? I spoke to Thomas Carroll, the Assistant Director of the local chapter of the World Health League. He has done fund drives on the mainland, and because he is new here, we would like to connect. He's new here, he would like to connect with your group. He has the available time and experience to carry out this year's campaign. His phone number is 555-3487 extension 456. You may be assured that he and I would like to help your campaign in any way we can. Best of luck to you in your year's annual food drive. Very truly yours, Doreen Caniho, nutritionist. Now, dear students, this is again a very good example of a bad news message in a very good way. Although today we were discussing good news messages, but since we missed out one very good bad news message written in a very good organizational plan, so I repeat, so I analyzed this letter, this message as well in front of you. Have a look. The person has begun. Kindly have a look on the screen with a very good note. Thank you very much, and inviting me to participate in your worthy cause. And after that, the next paragraph, dear students, he is giving the explanation that in that month I am committed. This was basically an invitation to a person to join the cause by an organization, but somehow the person was busy somewhere else and he had to refuse. So he began with the thank you and a warm note and a buffer in the beginning. Thank you for your letter inviting me to participate in your worthy cause. As a nutritionist for Hawaii Health Organization, I agree with your concern for people in need of basic necessities. A very good buffer created. And after that, in the second paragraph, he is not straight away beginning with the bad news. He is giving his schedule first. In the October, I am committed over there, and there, so will not be available. And then he comes up with an alternative, dear students, which is a very good strategy for a bad news message, that if you cannot do something, that is there something that you can do. Is there any alternative? And yes, he's having the alternative in the form of Thomas Carroll, and he's recommending that person along with the contact number of that person to this organization to help this organization out in this campaign. And a very positive and a friendly note. So overall impact of this, apparently of this bad news message, is not bad. It is very polite, very positive. So dear students, wishing you best of luck in all the good things of life, and I hope you have benefited from these lectures a lot. And if you will be practically implementing these rules and regulations to your writing, professional writings, you will no doubt end up with a very good piece of writing, inshallah. Inshallah, we'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Do remember me in your prayers.